Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, we did get some rain, and it's still a little sprinkle, but not much out right now. Nothing what they were originally saying. For the last 2 or 3 days, there's been flood warnings out. Let everyone know that your drive time could be delayed due to floods and stuff. And we got a decent amount of rain. It knocked off almost all of the dirt and dust off of the vehicles. But I guess we're not getting any more today. But there is more coming tomorrow and the day after. I'm pretty sure we're not getting the amounts of rain that were predicted. Probably some places in Missouri are getting it, but certainly not here. But we're not going to complain because any moisture falling down is beneficial. Maybe it'll keep the dust down off the roads for at least a couple of days. We'll see. I think it was last week, I had said that I had a good idea or thought that Iran might try to attack or might be planning to attack Israel on the 9th of Av, which starts tonight at sundown. Probably going to happen. I mean, that all the indicators are showing that. There's still official talk from the U.S. government saying that they plan on lobbing at least 1,500 missiles and rockets at Israel. Over the weekend, Hezbollah was shooting some stuff at them and apparently knocked out or disabled or overwhelmed their Iron Dome missile system. And so there's video of several strikes making contact. And that's seems to be part of the plan, is to just overwhelm the system is what they're going to do. I mean, will they take this attack further than that? I don't know. I mean, there was video yesterday or the day before of Iran, doing military training, getting ready for this, and it showed lots and lots of tanks. And I'm thinking, you're going to drive tanks, what is it, 1,500 miles or so? I don't know the exact distance. I'm going to take a wild guess, 1,500 miles or more across the desert to attack Israel with tanks. Highly unlikely. And I really think that that's a pretty big factor in this, is that maybe deep down inside, Iran really wants to do something, but they're kind of limited because they don't have any easy access to Israel. So we'll see how far this goes. But I'd say if they're going to do anything, it's probably going to start tonight, because over the last 24 hours, it does seem that things have increased in the attacks from Hezbollah into Israel. And as far as what's going on in Russia, number one, the nuclear power plant that I mentioned yesterday apparently was struck by one of Ukraine's own drones that went haywire and struck it. That's the official story. I know there's going to be some of you saying, "Oh, I'm sure it's this or that." You could easily be right, but the official story seems to be that a drone accidentally hit one of the top towers of the nuclear power plant, and everything seems to be okay. Now, on the flip side of what's going on there, there's recent video coming out of Ukraine's attack inside of Russia. And a lot of people are saying this, and I tend to agree. It's looking very similar to Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7th. A lot of civilian casualties. There's civilian cars all along the roadside that's riddled with bullets. I mean, everything can be manipulated and faked and all that online. I get it, but on the surface, it looks pretty graphic. If that's the case, I'm going to be shocked if Russia does not very harshly retaliate on this. If they don't, I guess you could say they're weak, but it's also possible that they're complicit in playing along with the big game. So we will see. Things are heating up. I mean, are they heating up at the speed that we think they should? Or are they following the timeline that we think should happen? Of course not, because it seems to be drug out for such a long time. It just takes forever. And I kind of question myself sometimes. Is it because they really are being drug out, or is it because that we've been so conditioned by Hollywood and stuff that we think wars happen in the moment, in a matter of moments, minutes, maybe a few days, when the reality is it takes a while for for militaries and stuff to just the simple logistics of getting things ready. So I don't know what the true answer to that question is, but it does appear that things are being drug out. I kind of believe that that's being done for a purpose, to just kind of drag things out so that it wears on us. I think that it's it's wearing on our emotions, on our psyche, and when things actually do happen, we've already disconnected. Now, when I say we, I'm saying it's generally speaking of people. My wife asked me yesterday, we were talking about all of this, and she was asking about my opinions of why would it be beneficial for the Biden administration or the Kamala administration or whoever it is to have this war. And, when you look back throughout history, whenever governments become big in debt, when they become weak, war is always a way to distract and to kind of rebuild the patriotic spirit of that nation. It's also very common that a sitting president during wartime gets reelected. I think it's only happened once that person did not get reelected. So if we end up involved in a full-scale war, I'd say that the odds greatly increase that Kamala becomes president before the November election. Everything is still up in air. There's rumors that her running mate, Tim Waltz or whatever, is going to drop out. There's even still pretty strong rumors, it seems, that by the Democratic National Convention that they're going to replace Kamala. I don't know. And to be honest with you, I don't care. I do believe, though, that the things that we're seeing happen in Russia and in Israel, Iran, all these places, maybe not, but that they're being propelled and pushed, encouraged by the White House. But at the very least, I don't see that the White House is doing anything to prevent them. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I do truly believe that the United States is pushing, behind the scenes to get these things going. I think that America needs a war. I'm not saying you and I need a war. I'm saying the American government, between the debt and the crazy political stuff that's going on, they really need a war. And I think when they look at things on paper, they say, hey, a war would be really helpful right now. It would fix a lot of problems. It would create a lot of distraction. It would, potentially build up patriotism. It would cause people to forget about the money. We can go into more debt. We can spend lots of money, and no one's going to pay attention to it because, well, we're at war. We have to do these things. And so I truly believe that a war is something that they want to happen. Whether or not that they can push Putin into a corner enough to get him to finally say, okay, I don't necessarily want to go to war with the United States, but we have no other option. Or Iran, too. Has that happened yet? No. What's gone on? I mean, it's quite, I think it's quite interesting that Israel and Ukraine has done these things, and you could justify them all you want, but you have to admit, assassinating a world leader, not a world leader, but assassinating a guest, let's put it that way, assassinating a guest and some of their military personnel inside their country, and Ukraine directly invading inside Russia, boots on the ground, and to the point of almost, moving into Moscow. I mean, come on, folks, at the similar time period, yeah, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that there's no one behind all of this. There's no one pushing all of this. I'm thinking that most of you probably have similar types of theories of what's going on. And this is the place that we're at. This is what I've been telling you about for months and months now, that leading up to the election, it's going to start getting pretty crazy. There's all kinds of rumors on the Trump campaign side too, that J.D. Vance might be dropping out, that the Trump administration, the Trump campaign was hacked, and then they faked it, is what some people are saying. They're lying about it. Who knows? The poll numbers, and I know that poll numbers mean nothing and they lie. I haven't forgotten the 2020 election, okay? Or the 2016 election even. But according to the poll numbers, Trump isn't doing so well against Kamala. And again, even though that may not actually reflect the true sentiment of the people, it's kind of like with COVID. It didn't matter so much whether the disease was actually deadly. It was the perception of the disease by the people and the government. The same way with the polling numbers. It doesn't matter that, 55, 60, 65, 70, 80% of the American people would vote for Donald Trump. The poll numbers may say something different, and then that's the direction that they're going to lead the true outcome of the election. So when you start to put all of this stuff together, to me, it's pretty clear that, things are being obviously manipulated, and they're being taken over, and it's being stolen, and it's being controlled, and they're trying to control you and I and how we perceive things. And that's part of that mental preparedness that I tell you about all the time. Prepping isn't just beans and rice and bullets. I mean, that's part of it, folks. But being prepared is also being mentally strong and have that mental acuity so that you can see things and realize that they're bunk, whether it's the left or the right. Okay, I know that we talk about the left-leaning psyops and mental manipulation, but the right does it too. There's all the crazy, fake news and QAnon fake stuff, and so it happens from both sides, and you and I have to be able to see through that, and that's part of being prepared. Because if you get, allow yourself to be manipulated by this stuff, well, then you're not really prepared for things, because you're believing in some false narrative or some kind of lie that's meant to kind of contain you. So it's bigger than just beans and bullets, folks. It's also having that mental strength and that clarity and that discernment to be able to see through all of the garbage, and then understand that sometimes the fake stuff, while it's fake, affects us more than the actual real stuff. It's a big mind game, folks, and it's tough. But pray for the discernment, and pray for that strength to be able, that wisdom and that mental strength to be able to see through it, because it's in that respect, in the mental psyop stuff, it's gonna get worse. It really is. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.